You are listening to the Centropic Oracle, an audiobook podcast of science fiction and fantasy short stories that make you think and feel. Change of Life by KT Wagner. Belinda dragged her walker down a back staircase at Sunset Gardens, cursing the metal contraption with each thump. Back home, she'd gotten around just fine with her twisted oak cane, carved it herself, but the doctors claimed it wasn't stable and took it away. Belinda argued. They'd patted her hand and didn't listen. Sunset Gardens, an understaffed, government-run elder care institution, featured grounds consisting of cracked sidewalk and a strip of weedy grass, not even a bench to sit in the sun. The nurses advised daily exercise and fresh air, but frowned on residents venturing into the neighborhood. Belinda didn't have family to take her out, nor did she want any. Long ago, her mothers and sisters had gone their own ways, as was proper. She'd done just fine on her own, out of the way in her cabin, not bothering anyone, eating what she liked. Sunset Gardens' kitchen refused her request for her favorite raw eggs. At the care facility, the craving had grown until she could think of little else. Back home, she'd kept chickens. For variety, she'd put out bird feeders and collected eggs from the wild nests. In the weeks since they dumped her into this cinder block anthill, she'd developed alarming symptoms. Swollen joints and patches of crawling, itchy hives. The change was upon her, but it had never been this bad back home. Autoimmune disease, common in older women, the annoying male doctors intoned. What did they know about it? They'd kept poking her, so she'd bitten one. Dementia, they'd said, and prescribed pills. Nonsense, she'd been fine before. She'd hidden the pills under her tongue to spit into the toilet later, but a growly, iron-haired nurse had caught her. The nurse had threatened to have her sedated. Belinda tried to bite her too, but the nurse was fast. Belinda knew what she needed. She needed to eat, and no one there was going to help her. At the bottom of the stairs, the emergency exit door almost foiled her plan. It refused to open. So much lost strength. Belinda leaned against the door to catch her breath. Her stomach and wrist itched like crazy. She'd loved sunbathing on the outcrop next to her cabin. No one ever came out that way. Then a direction-challenged delivery guy had glimpsed her soaking up the heat naked. She'd yelled at him to get off her property, and the busybody had reported her to the authorities. 2 pushy, clipboard-toting women had shown up the next week. They'd asked questions, poked around, and returned with an ambulance. Gentle, but not kind, they'd given her no choice. Her hands tightened around the handles of the walker and pain shot through her knuckles. Best to concentrate on something else. Eggs. Closing her eyes, Belinda imagined chalky shells and succulent, slippery filling. She'd spotted the grocery store sign from the second-floor bedroom she shared with the vacant-eyed woman. A 15-minute walk, at most. From her roommate's purse, she'd helped herself to a few dollars. Taking a deep breath, she slammed into the exit door, and it popped open. A flattened paper cup shoved into the door jamb should keep it unlatched for her return. Not that she wanted to return, but in her weakened state, she couldn't find her way home. Belinda shuffled up the street as quickly as she could manage. A young man whipped past on a bike, yelling at her to move over. A car swerved into a puddle and sprayed her with water. She scowled and shook a fist. Standing in front of the dairy case at the grocery store, she admired the crates of eggs. Saliva pooled in her mouth. For the first time in weeks, she smiled. A woman with a cart snorted an impatient noise, but Belinda ignored her. She carefully picked out 2 dozen brown eggs, size extra large. There was just enough money in her pocket. Back outside, she settled onto a bus stop bench, opened one carton, popped an egg into her mouth, and crunched. Her entire body shivered in response to the wonderful taste. Ew, gross. Disgusted expressions and grunts. Belinda glared, but kept chewing. Popping another in her mouth, she tucked the remaining eggs into the basket of her walker and stumbled woozily toward the residence. The skin at her neck tightened. Her joints burned. The itch was close to unbearable. At long last, she slipped into Sunset Gardens through the back door she'd propped open earlier. The stairs proved too much. She wasn't used to going out. She'd overdone it and needed a snack. Gasping, she sank onto a bottom step and devoured the rest of the eggs. Licking her fingers, she sighed. Finally, some relief. The skin around her wrists split. It felt good. She stripped off her clothing. Spent skin fell to the ground in puddles. Shuddering, she dropped to the floor and stretched. Her body lengthened. Finally, the ability to return home. But first, something to fuel the journey. Belinda wound herself around the railing, stretched her jaws with a hiss, then slithered up the stairs. The iron-haired nurse would make a nice supplemental snack.
We hope you enjoyed Change of Life by KT Wagner, read by Charly Thompson. If you'd like to learn more about the author and narrator of this story or make a donation to them, follow the story page link in the description. If you would like to submit a story for consideration or apply to be a narrator, a link to our submission guidelines is in the description. This story is copyrighted 2020 by the Centropic Oracle.